Hey guys, it's Tyler Stroik, founder and owner of Tennis with Tyler. So today we are going to be talking about the most common mistakes that players make when they're hitting their volley. As always, if you like and want to support this channel, please like, comment, and subscribe below. So let's start out with the ready position. I have so many clients that come to me and they say, Tyler, I can't hit volleys. And then when I go out and I watch them, their hands are down or their hands are close to their body. You do not want to have this. You want your hands to be up and out in front. I like to tell all my students, pretend you're a boxer, right? Like you're Floyd Mayweather. If your hands are down, you can get knocked out. You want your hands up. Let me explain why. So if my hands are down and a ball's coming, right? A ball's coming around shoulder height, I have to bring my hands up and then swing. Or if my hands are inside, I have to bring my hands out and then swing. That takes too much time. And what players will do is they'll practice with a ball machine or just getting them fed, and their hands will be inside. And they'll hit, and then their hands are inside, and then they'll hit, and you'll be able to make your volleys, right? But then when you go out into a match, you're going to suffer and not be able to make them because the timing is going to be much faster, right? At a faster pace. So just because you make volleys like this in practice or against a low-level players, when you play those higher levels, you won't have time to bring the racket up and go. So that's why a lot of players, when they play or practice their volleys in practice, they're perfectly fine. They don't have any trouble. And then they go out to the match and then all of a sudden they can't hit any volleys. So you always want your hands up and out in front. This is the ready position for the volley. This is not the ready position for the volley. Neither is this. Your hands are up and out in front. If you can keep your hands up and out in front and you don't already do it, you will automatically increase your volleying success by at least 50% by not even doing anything else. You always want to be prepared. Think you're a boxer, have your hands always up and out in front, all right? And I get a lot of students that say, okay, my hand's up and out in front, it disrupts my vision. Well, tilt it a little bit to the side so you can see. Also, it doesn't have to be straight up across above your face. You could just keep it a little bit lower. So when I have my hands up like this, I can still see. So do not block your vision, keep your hands up and out in front. You will have better volleys, all right? So that's number one, always keep your hands up. Now, number two, the second most prevalent mistake that players make is that their feet, right? Their heels are on the ground. All their weight is on their heels. Again, if you're hitting at a slow pace, you're going to be able to get up and move. You'll have enough time. But then if you're playing with higher level players, when your weight is on your heels, it's hard to push off and move. Volleying, it goes so fast, right? Boom, 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 right? Kind of like ping pong, I think. Volleying is like tennis ping pong. So if your weight's on your heels, you're not going to be able to just push off and hit. My weight's on my heels. It's going to be super hard to get ready and get the ball. So you always want your weight on your toes, not just for your volleys, for your ground strokes, anything in tennis, you always want all the weight on your toes, but especially for volleys because of the pace. So your heels, if you can see, your heels should never be touching the ground. You always want to be on your toes when you hit. So once again, ready position, we already worked on that, and also always on your toes to be ready to hit the forehand or the backhand volley, all right? Once again, my hands are up out in front and I'm always on my toes, ready to hit that volley. So once again, you always want the weight on your toes, not on your heels. You will be able to react faster and have much more time, right? The hands up, and if you're on your toes, you will have a ton of time to hit that volley. You will be prepared, you'll be in a better position. So hands up, be on your toes. Then let's get into the technique a little bit, all right? Not too much, but a big mistake that players make is when they hit their volleys, they go like this, right? Forehand, backhand, forehand, backhand. There's no step. You want your momentum going forward. You need momentum, right? So what you need to do is, if you're a right-handed player, right? For the forehand, you want to step with your left foot across your body. And for the backhand, you want to step with your right foot. Once again, for the forehand, I'm stepping with my left. The backhand, I'm stepping with my right. If I'm a left-handed player, the forehand, I'm stepping with my right. The backhand, I'm stepping with my left. You always want to step. I like to tell all my students, pretend you're at an old school arcade, right? You're playing Dance Dance Revolution. You have one arrow here, one arrow there, one arrow back here, one arrow back there. You literally want to step on the arrow, right? So forehand, step on that arrow. Backhand, step on this arrow, right? You want to step across your body like you're playing the dancing arcade game. So if you can step to the ball, you will get so much more momentum. If you do not step, you're not going to get any momentum and you're going to hit it into the net, or you're going to hit it long because you want to step and you want your ball going and your body weight going forward. So step into the ball next time you hit. So just to recap, we want our hands up and out in front, not down. You want your weight on your toes, you want to be on your toes, not on your heels. And when you hit that volley, you want to step, right? Now the next thing, this is where many players go wrong, right? A volley is not a swing. I know you guys want to swing at the ball. You want to whack it, right? No, the biggest volleys, if you want to hit a harder volley, you have to use your legs. All the power in the volley comes from my legs, all right? For example, I'm not on a tennis court right now, but if I want to hit a volley, right? Here we are, that's a volley, right? If I want to hit harder, if I want to drill that ball at that person, right? All I'm going to do is get into my legs more and step. So the more leg power and leg drive I have, the faster the ball goes. So once again, it's not a swing. You want power, use it in your legs. So what many players do is they have that volley, they swing, they break their wrist. When you hit that volley, once you're done, you want to freeze. So I have my forehand volley, I want to freeze. If I have my backhand volley, I want to freeze. You always want to freeze after contact, all right? A volley, I like to tell all my students that it's a push, not a swing. So when I hit that forehand volley, I'm going to push. When I hit that backhand volley, I'm going to push, right? You want to push. It's a push, not a swing. When you swing, you're going to lose total control. You only swing if the ball is above your head. Then it's an overhead, it's not a volley. So you want to step and you want to push, right? All the power comes from my legs. And when I hit that volley, I'm not swinging, I'm just freezing. When I get beginners, I like them to start out by when they make contact with the volley, I want them to freeze a racket for 3 seconds. So this is a great drill to do when you're on court, right? Your hands are going to be out in front, you're going to be on your toes like we already worked on, and you're going to step, and then after you make contact, you're going to freeze. Once again, for the backhand on my toes, hands are out in front, I'm going to step and freeze. You want to get into the habit of every single time you hit a volley, you want to freeze after you make contact. You do not want to swing. So if you're on your toes, your hands are up and out in front, you're stepping and you're freezing after contact, perfect. You are going to hit a good volley. So first we went over before the stroke. Second, we went over during the stroke. Now we're going to talk about different situations of the stroke, all right? So where many players go wrong is they do not take the racket at the height of the ball. So if the ball is real high, they might drop the racket or try to swing down, right? If the ball is super high, I'm going to make contact super high. If the ball is super low, I'm going to make contact super low. If the ball is at my chest, I'm going to make contact at my chest. You always want to make contact at the height of the ball and freeze your racket. So if the ball is super high, I'm going to freeze my racket at this height. If the ball is in the middle, I'm going to freeze my racket at this height. If the ball is super low, I'm going to freeze my racket at that height, all right? Then here's another thing, and we are going to use the Topspin Pro to demonstrate this. The Topspin Pro is a great way to it's like a sparring partner, kind of like a punching bag, you get a lot of reps in. And the second thing is I have half the Topspin Pro right now because we're learning volleys, but it really teaches you how to go low to high. If you guys are interested in the Topspin Pro, I posted a link in my description. So here's a big tip, right? If you guys ever have trouble on low balls, I'm going to adjust this to make it a little bit lower down here. All right, so if you guys ever have trouble with low balls, the number one thing that people go wrong for low balls is that they try to get the volley like this. They bend over with their back trying to get low balls. The ball is going to go down into the net, right? Because what? Our body's going forward. If you have a low ball, and this goes back to the tip that you always want your racket at the height of the ball, you need to get low with it, right? You need to go down to the height of the ball. So instead of going like this, trying to hit that volley, right? Or like this, dropping our back, what you're going to do is if I have this low ball, I'm going to get low at the height of the ball. Once again, if I have it low, I'm going to get low. Look, I'm dropping my legs down. You have to drop your legs down to make contact with the ball. Here, let's do some forehands. So if it's this low, right? I need my hands up, right? I have a low ball. I'm going to step, drop my legs down. You have to get low to hit that ball. You do not want to bend down. You're not going to make it. You need your hands up and you need to drop your legs to the height of the ball. So if I have a high ball, all I'm going to do, I'm going to do the backhand so the camera can see me. If I have a high ball, I'm going to make contact up here, right? At the height of the ball. If the ball's this high, I'm making contact and freezing at the height of the ball. If the ball's at my chest, I'm making contact and freezing at that height of the ball. If the ball is low, I'm going to get low and make contact and freeze at the height of the ball. Notice, okay, if I'm low and the net's higher, how am I going to get the ball up over net? It's because my strings, you always want the strings facing the court. Once again, this is a huge tip. Once you make a volley, right, and you freeze, you want your strings facing the court. What so many players do is after they make contact with the volley, their strings are facing down. If your strings are facing down, where is the ball going to go? The ball's going to go down. So if you have trouble and you're netting a lot of balls, number one, check your step, if you're making a step or not. And number two, check after you make contact with the ball, check if your strings are facing the court. So if I have a low ball, right, and I get down and my strings are facing the court, they're up, what's going to happen? The ball's going to go over the net. So you always want your strings facing the court. You never want your strings down, right? So the low ball, once again, you want to get low with your legs and freeze your strings. Your strings should be pointing to the court. That will help you get the ball over the net. So right now, I'm going to run you guys through a situation that if I had each volley, if I had a high volley, if I had a middle volley, and if I had low volley using these tips, all right? So to start off, right, I want my hands up in front, right? Hands out in front, I'm ready, I'm prepared, and I'm on my toes so I can react to the forehand or the backhand. Then, okay, we're gonna have a high ball, right? So I'm gonna step with my left foot, because I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, you're gonna step with your right foot, and I'm going to freeze at contact. When I freeze at contact, I'm gonna check, are my strings facing the court? Yes, then I'm good. So now we're going to have a middle ball, all right, around chest height. So my hands are up out in front, I'm on my toes, right? I'm gonna step, and then I'm gonna freeze at contact and check, are my strings facing the court? Now I have a low ball, right? So I'm gonna be ready position on my toes. I'm gonna step, get down low like we went over. I'm gonna step and freeze at contact and check, are my strings there, all right? So let's go through all of them, all right? So high, medium, and low. Here we are, we'll do 5 sets, okay? 5 sets of 3. Here we are, so high, medium, and low. Get low, here we are, let's go. So high, freeze and checking my strings, medium, stepping, and low. Good, here we are, 3 more sets. So high, medium, and low. 2 more sets, here we are. So high, medium, freezing the racket, and low. All right, 1 more set. I want to hit hard, right? So I'm going to step hard, high, more step, more explosiveness in my legs, and low. So I hope you guys enjoyed those tips. Just to review. So you want your hands up out in front. You want to be on your toes so you can be ready. You want to step to the ball. When you make contact, you want to freeze your racket. Check if your strings are facing to the court, and you want to bring your racket to the height of the ball. So if the ball's super high, bring it high. If the ball's in the middle, bring it in the middle, and if the ball's low, get low. And if the ball's super low, you're going to drop your legs and get low. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please drop a comment or question in the box below. I'll be sure to get back to you. Have a good one and happy hitting.